I'm going to be looking at both of y'all and being able to share some tips. We've got two topics today. Our first topic is how to create effective video. Video is such a great way for you to be able to get your message out and about everywhere it needs to go. So you want to make it really interesting, and you don't want just a ton of videos out there. You want a reason behind it. You want either your houses to show more, or you want people to call you for loan applications, or you want to become the person that people think about when it comes to mortgage or real estate. And video is a great way to make that happen for you. Some of you are already doing beautiful videos. Some of you need some help. So we're going to show all kinds of good examples, some poor examples, and also have a worksheet of some of the video tips that I want to share with you. Sydney, if you'll hand me that. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, first of all, you don't have to be ultra professional to do a great job getting a lot of videos out there. You can be who you are, and it's actually better to be exactly yourself if you want your passion to show through. You don't have to be this polished character. Just be yourself. I've been watching how responses sure have changed after I just say, hey y'all. Because that's what I would normally say. I would say, hey y'all. And I wasn't doing that in my videos for a while. I'm doing that now, and I think people are a lot more receptive to it because they're like, oh yeah, that's exactly how she is. Now, I always try to make things also, in my own personality, and you don't want to go over cheesy. Sometimes people feel like they want to try to get attention through videos, and they become over the top cheesy, and that stuff does not go away. That impression is there for a long time. And you really don't want shares because people are making fun of you. You want shares because it's a great idea or it speaks to someone. Hey, good morning. Come on in. We're streaming live, say. I said we're streaming live. So it goes back and forth. So yeah, you can ask whatever you want to. All right, so again, you don't want to be overly cheesy in your videos because it's going to stay around a long time. And you want people to connect with it or get some value out of it instead of making fun of you. That is definitely not what you want. And years ago, I think people, they tried to either use strong language or silly topics to get noticed. We're beyond that. People notice you already. So be yourself and be fun. I feel like Paige does a great job with this. She's always herself and she's laughing, and I mean that video can be sideways, backwards, and people just get a kick out of it and they want to see the next one because she makes them fun. She makes them who she is, and she really shows her personality in it. One of the things I also recommend that you do, and Dustin from Down in Front Productions is about to show you a video about how to make effective video. So we're going to learn from him as well. And y'all, they are amazing. If you need any kind of video work done, those guys are fast, they're professional, they get stuff to us in record time that really surprises me. And they'll use all different kind of angles and two different cameras. They do a really good job when you give them what your concept is. So I'm going to bring him on in just a few minutes. One of the things that I want to make sure to stress to you is that you don't have to be perfect to make really good video. If you're thinking that has to be perfect and that every word has to be the best chosen word or your mannerisms, that's not true. People will connect to you because it's not perfect. When you become too perfect, people will just glide all over you and it'll be too boring. So again, you want to kind of be yourself. Always have a call to action. Have a reason for people to reach out to you whenever you do a video. Whether it's hey, whether it is a list of things to order. Like, hey, I'm talking about, this house over here in Indian Springs today. If you want to find out what all houses are selling for in Indian Springs today. Offer something for them to reach out to you. Or, hey, you know what? I know it's cold today, but spring is coming. For a free list of homes with pools, contact me and use your email address, or just say, hey, put your email here or private message me. Because you want, again, a connection. You're doing all of this to be building your followers and be building prospects, not to have your face out on video, right? So you can use either lists like that. You could use loan programs for loan officers, to find out more about, how to buy a house through a VA loan, or how to buy 100% financing. Private message me, or you can use all kinds of call to actions like that. Some other call to actions that you could use are strategy sessions. To find out how you can get the most out of your home. Contact me, send me a private message, and we'll set up. I'll come over and give you details on how you can get the most out of this market. You could do showings is a great way. Like, I'm telling you a little bit about this house, but why don't you come see the real deal? Private message me, and I'll get you in, and you can take a personal look at it. Whatever you put out in the world, make sure it has some sort of call to action to come back to you, and be thinking about that ahead of time. That's actually really more important than anything else in the video. So you always want to be brief and be brilliant. So if you can go in under 1 minute is preferable, because people have a short attention span. They're constantly flipping through, and you want to grab their attention right away, have a call to action, and move on. You don't want to go into anything over a minute people get bored with. Always shoot horizontally, and Dustin's going to talk about that in a minute. It's because our eyes are this way, they're not vertical. When you do it the other way, people know that it's amateur. You can do a quick interview of someone. Like if you're promoting a house, interview the seller. What's the one thing you've loved about living here more than anything? And give them to give you a little insight on that. You might come up with things that a buyer really has wanted to know, but that you just never thought to have the conversation about it. It could be something like, because I have the best neighbors. Ask a seller something. It brings a lot more interest as well. Whenever you're talking about, if you talk about one house that you want to promote, you want to feature on one benefit per video. Don't go, well, this one has 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Nobody cares about that. You want to talk about one thing. Like Jason Cook had a house on the market one time that had heated floors. And just that alone is a neat feature to talk about. You could show, the flooring and talk about how you don't have to worry about getting out of bed in the mornings onto a cold floor, that kind of thing. You could make your whole video just about that one unique feature. And then without showing the outside of the house, you could say, now if you want to come check out this really affordable house that has heated flooring in it, right? So that you are getting people into it. Lenders, work with agents, because y'all can get far more of the message out by tagging and sharing with each other, especially if you tag and share with your sellers. And if a lender's in it, then y'all can tag and share even more. So that to me is one of the best tips ever. Okay, always, whenever you put a video on Facebook, you also want to upload it to your YouTube account, and make sure that all your social media accounts are attached to your website. The reason you want to put it on YouTube is because people are searching on YouTube more than ever, and you want to be there. You want to be like Vinny. If you're going to do, the Highland Lakes guy on your YouTube, then you want to have all your video searches like titles. Why live in Highland Lakes? So, because that's how people are going to, they're going to search, and they're going to want to know everything about that neighborhood. And you can have all those keywords out there based on that one community. Have it where people can easily get to it from your website. And I'm going to show you examples of this in just a little bit, like with Jerry Pincus and how he does it. I pulled up Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and he's number 3 for videos. And his videos are, and any one of you can do this, things to do in Myrtle Beach. It's been shown 110,000 times. That is amazing. So he is immediately known as the real estate expert in Myrtle Beach, and he wasn't talking about real estate. He was talking about all the fun things to do in his town. And with it being such a relocation place and a second home, you know, people now have someone they can associate in real estate with Myrtle Beach. So those are things that any of you could do to you know, raise your viewerships, or you could talk about restaurants in your market. You could talk about, you know, that's why I'm a huge believer of interviewing small business owners in your target market, because you are the person who is bringing that information to the world. And when people find you out there, you're immediately the expert of that market, and you could have gotten your license yesterday. So it's kind of like the insight stuff, Vinny, in video form that you want to get out all the time. And you want to be consistent by getting a bunch of them out there, because your Google rankings will also help with however many videos that you have on YouTube. So don't just put it on Facebook and on an immediate upload. Make sure you put it on your YouTube channel, and brand that channel for yourself. And then you can go back and put keywords around that YouTube video as well. I think it's, you could also put video testimonials of your closings and the clients that you've worked with. You can even interview them through the process, and because that's when they're the happiest. You know, now that how does it make you feel that we just put the sign in the yard? You know, some people will cry. You've had it before, be like, no, you're gonna have to take this sign up. I can't do this. Right? And then some people will say, I'm excited about it, but I've lived here for 20 years. Like Courtney and Kathy had a listing last week that said, we're so happy to be moving and closing on this home, but this was our first home. We brought our baby home here. We've really lived here. We've had birthday parties. We've had, you know, it's so emotional. That's what you want to capture in videos too. You want to capture that raw moment. Okay, let's see. Make sure your company name is either in your introduction, like when you say, hey, this is Diana Howe with Realty South. You want to make sure you have your company name associated with your name, whether it's in your copy or you have a logo on the video, which will make it complicated. So you want to just brand whatever you're doing, like in the copy. It makes it a lot easier around that video, just in case you forget to say it as well. All right, so let me give you Dustin with Down in Front Production. We're going to play his video, and of course he did it in video style for us to check out. So if you can't hear the sound for some reason, text me and I'll be able to adjust it, okay? After this, I'm going to come back on and talk to you about being productive with Google Calendar. We've only played it several times, so. While she's pulling that up, thank you to, someone just bought another ticket to our CE event, so thank you.
Hello there, everybody. My name is Dustin Woodloborn, and I am the president, CEO, and co-founder of Down in Front Productions, which is a local production company here in Birmingham. We like to call ourselves Birmingham's production company because it just seems like we do everything these days. We do UAB Athletics, Sanford Athletics, the Hoover Met, Legion, Barron's games, businesses all around, weddings, you name it. If it's a live event, we're probably there in some form or fashion, it seems like. So anyways, Jenny asked me to create a little video for you guys to kind of give you some pointers and tips on how to use video in different levels of video, obviously from the do-it-yourself to the kind of intermediate where you have some equipment, maybe can do some things on your own, to the professionals, which I guess we can consider ourselves. But anyways, that's what I'm here to do. So rule number one, I'm a huge UAB fan, so as always, go Blazers. But I do have to tell one joke first. How many UAB fans does it take to screw in a light bulb? And the answer is both of them. So anyways, just to kind of get things kicked off here, but as you can tell, I'm a UAB fan with the UAB shirt on, just support my team. So if you haven't, go to a UAB game. There's one tonight if you're watching this, and then the last regular season game is Saturday, not to promote, but we'll be there doing those games. So to get things started, I am sitting here, and as you can see very clearly, I am squared up. The audio is very clean. It doesn't sound like I'm 10 or 12 feet away from you like the camera physically is right now. So these are all very important things. Audio, obviously the framing, and the lighting. If you'll notice, I'm not dark at the moment, so you can clearly see me. All of those are probably the three basic concepts when it comes to making a video that oftentimes when people are doing it themselves on their cell phone, they forget about one or sometimes all of those. So that's kind of what I want to go through with you, is just the different levels of creating videos and then how to use videos to your advantage on social media with commercials on your website. All of these ways can help improve, honestly, your bottom line, because you're more visible, you're more relatable, and you're communicating in the way in which people communicate in 2016. So video is obviously extraordinarily important, and it becomes more and more important every day as I hear from new business owners about how they like to use video and in what ways it can be used. So we'll get started. First of all, the one thing that I do want to say, if you'll notice, I'm sitting in front of a blue screen, which if I think really hard can become a jungle, and then a basketball arena, and back to a jungle, and then back to a blue screen. So that is the magic of editing and professional video production, and these are the kinds of things that we can do for anyone, for that matter, but these are the kinds of things that we do on a daily basis, just to kind of, again, have some more fun. But back to the basics here. A cell phone. Now, obviously, every time you buy a cell phone, you look at cell phones, one of the things they tout is these crazy HD cameras that are somehow packaged into the corner of a cell phone. So absolutely nothing wrong with that. They are HD. The quality is there, the 720p, 1080p, 4K, some phones have. And all that denotes is just the pixel quality of the image that's being produced. So 720, a little bit less, 1080, there's more density there of pixels, and then of course 4K, the human eye almost can't see that many pixels at a certain distance. So it's crazy how far these things have come. But a cell phone, absolutely nothing wrong with creating videos on your own using a cell phone just to get content out there to kind of get started. I think that's a great idea. In fact, if you've never posted a video on your Facebook or your Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat, those are great ways to kind of get your name out there and people start seeing you, depending on your target market. You know, if it's a younger market or a middle-aged market. Seems like all of them use social media, but in slightly different ways. So it's always a good idea to do a little bit of research, you know, who your target market is and what they relate to. But what they all relate to is quality versus non-quality video. So I want to take just a quick moment to show you a couple of videos that I found online with some real estate agents. Not to pick on these guys, and some of you, if you're in the room, I do apologize ahead of time. If you're not in the room and someone knows the person, feel free to make fun of it. No, but seriously, I just wanted to show you a couple of these because I want you to pay attention to the audio quality, pay attention to the sort of the quality of the video, not necessarily the framing or the lighting, but just the overall, you know, kind of graininess. So you'll notice that a little bit, and then, but also the framing and the lighting too. Those are important things. So take a look at a couple examples right here, and then we'll come back and talk about how we can improve upon those.
Welcome to another real estate investing and real estate agent video. I haven't done one for a while, so I figured I'd better get another video posted. Today I want to talk about
Hello, I'm here to talk to you today about why exit realty. My name is Jerome Whitby. I'm a licensed real estate agent and I've also been a sales manager for one of the leading real estate companies in the country. However, I recently made a move to exit realty. Now, you may say, why exit realty? Well, I believe that exit realty has an outstanding formula for your success.
All right, so as you noticed, right there, the audio not great. Again, if you're just doing it on your cell phone and kind of, you don't really have a microphone like I have right here. So that's a big deal when it comes to making videos on your phone or your iPad or whatever device, or even if you got a small, JVC camera, nothing like this, of course, but smaller, not even professional cameras. If you're a good 10 to 12 feet away or even less, I mean, it's going to sound muffled and echoed, and just all kinds of crazy things can happen with audio if you're not careful and know what you're doing. So when you're doing a cell phone video, obviously hundreds of different kinds of phones. Most people, of course, with the iPhone, I assume, not to offend any Android users, but there's all kinds of different settings and ways you can do video. One thing I will suggest, let's not do the portrait version of a video. Let's not hold our phones in a portrait manner, because it's not a portrait. If you'll notice, television screens today are what we refer to as widescreen. They're 16:9. So if you look at this screen right now, this video is being shot in widescreen. So when we make videos, we need to keep that in mind, that 95% of all screens are widescreen, with the exception of video boards and some projector screens, which the one you're looking at right now may very well be a 4:3 screen, which is a little bit more square and is the old standard definition sets that we're used to from, honestly, not that long ago, 7 or 8 years ago. Those were fairly common. But nowadays, it's all about widescreen video. So turn your phone this way, okay? That's rule number 1, in my opinion, is let's go ahead and get that right. Let's make sure we're thinking like 2016 people do. And then the next step is the framing. So again, I want you to look at the video that we're watching right now. If you'll notice, not a ton of headroom here. We don't want to be like this much headroom going on or anything, and we don't want to have our head cut off. We want to be nice and centered, especially if it's just a video of yourself. Now, obviously there's interview situations where you can have a 2-shot or something like that. And that gets into more of the professional, where you need to do some editing and things like that. But most of the time, you guys are going to be doing the kind of single video on yourself. You're holding it like this, talking into it, or you can purchase, they make these stands for iPads or phones that will actually hold it for you like a tripod, like something kind of like this guy right here, like a tripod, but much smaller version of that can hold your phone or your iPad. And those are great, because then you're not sitting there like wiggling and trying to hold it and take a selfie or have someone else hold it. That's fine and everything, but it's just not as good. So if you want to look on Amazon, just type in phone stand, camera phone stand, those kinds of things, they will pop up. There's all different kinds of different costs, on there. Get one on eBay if you want, but get you a stand to put your phone on so that it's stable in front of you and near you. And it brings me to my next point of audio. If someone is taking a video of you with your phone and they're several feet away from you, it is not going to sound good. Because you got to remember, the microphone is in the phone. I mean, there's multiple microphones designed to help pick that sound up, but most of the time it's picking up echoes if it's not fairly close to you. So it is kind of a selfie, but it's not, because you want to be able to talk with your hands and be a real estate agent and be a salesperson and all those things. So get you a stand, make sure it's stable, and then put it in front of you in widescreen mode and do the video. Another suggestion when doing a video is it's okay to write a script, but I would do simply just little notes. I wouldn't have, don't sit there and try to have somebody hold a piece of paper and read it. You got to be natural and kind of belt it out that way, and then it'll look so much better in the end result. You definitely don't want to look like you're reading at a piece of paper like this or this. It's very obvious when you're doing that. So don't do that. Be natural, and make some great videos. I mean, it can be done with a phone. There's nothing wrong with that, and it looks great, and it can sound great if you do it right. But the key is that get a stand, make it stable, and make it fairly close so that audio is picking up within a reasonable distance. To add to that, There's all sorts of kinds of videos you can make. Obviously, you know, there's just varying levels, even with your phone. It's crazy. I mean, with Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook and Twitter, you can do so much. But I would recommend keeping them shorter, especially if it's on a phone, because when you get into longer videos on a phone and you try to upload directly from your phone, and there are some editing things on the phones, like iMovie and things like that, that's fine, and it does share directly to YouTube or wherever. But the longer the video is and you're trying to upload it from your phone, the quality is probably going to be reduced. So that's just something to keep in mind. Keep those videos short, especially obviously for Twitter, you're kind of limited to 30 seconds, and then Instagram's 15 seconds, so you got to be really effective there. Facebook, obviously no limits. And of course YouTube, there aren't really limits on how long the video can be, and YouTube's a good option because it will generally take any video you create and encode it in such a format that actually looks good no matter how you created it. That's not always true. I mean, if the quality is not good to start with, then it's not going to encode it well. But if you've got a decent camera or a phone that can shoot in HD, you know, YouTube's going to encode well, and then you post that link to your Twitter or your Facebook, it's going to pop up, it's going to autoplay. These are all really good things when it comes to video. So again, those are the basic concepts. You know, find a good place, a well-lit area to sit when you're doing these do-it-yourself videos. Get a background that looks nice. You know, we don't want a solid blue background. Again, I just did that for the, you know, to show you what a blue screen is, because that's something that you can certainly utilize in videos. But find a nice well-lit area with some flowers or books or somewhere in your office. But make sure that you're lit up and that, you know, we can see you and that you're framed up right and that the video is stable, widescreen, and you're doing great. And then the audio is very, very important. So make sure that you're within range of that microphone picking up. And then my recommendation would be YouTube, would be my choice if I was going to upload it and then share it across all platforms, with the exception of Instagram being that 15-second video. You know, that's kind of a different animal. But everywhere else, I think YouTube makes the most sense, especially Facebook and Twitter, because it allows you to put a couple-minute long videos on there, which is generally the sweet spot. You don't want to go too much past 2 minutes, which I'm doing right now. So, but again, everything I do isn't right. It just happens. So, anyways, that's kind of the do-it-yourself rundown from a logistical, framing, lighting, audio standpoint, and the fact that you can do it yourself and just get started and get some content out there and see how people react to it. It's guaranteed that you will get more likes, you will get more shares, you will get more favorites. It's going to happen just by the simple fact that you're putting video out there. Anytime there's a long text post, you can forget about it. Video makes a huge difference, and it's very important that you learn to utilize it in your business. So next, I'd kind of like to talk about an intermediate level of video, you know, editing and filming and all of these things, because there are varying levels, like we said earlier. The intermediate level, I kind of put it more along the lines of having a camera, something maybe not quite this nice, but having a semi-professional camera, having something like a lavalier microphone. This guy right here, like the one I'm wearing as well, a lavalier microphone, so that you can clip it onto yourself, plug it into the camera, and then you're more mobile almost. You can be a little bit further away. There's all sorts of things you can do once you've got a microphone that can pick up really high quality audio and make the end product so much better. You'll probably need, you know, some extension. This is an XLR cable, which works again with the professional cameras, probably not so much with the mid-level cameras. There are some exceptions to that, and some adapters that you can use, where you could use something like this Sony ECM44B. Again, good places to order things from, and I can help those of you who would like to get more information on different kinds of cameras and maybe opinions on what's best, and, you know, is this camera better than this camera? A lot of times there's not a whole lot of difference, you know, if the prices are close. And then again, you can spend as little or as much as you want to. I mean, there's the $250 camera that's kind of what you see, the JVCs, the cheaper Sony cameras, the cheaper Panasonic cameras. You know, they're down there in the $200–300 range, and then you get on a little bit higher in the mid-range cameras. Those are $800, $1,000, $1,200, And then once you get above that and you get up to something like this that's, you know, $2,300, $2,500, and you'll see some even more so that are $3,000. And then beyond that is just television quality, and that's not to say that this one isn't, but those are massive cameras that are used for, you know, major live events and things of that sort that you would never need almost in any situation. But yeah, with just crazy zooms and things like that. But cameras in those mid levels and those lower levels are great for these intermediate quality of videos, especially if you're wanting to get into your own editing. And that is really where the bee's knees is at, because editing makes or breaks you. You know, obviously if you're doing it on your phone like we talked about earlier, you kind of just got to keep doing takes of that until you get it right, with the exception of the fact that there is an iMovie version on iPhones, and then similar things for Droids, where you can clip it together, but it will never look right if you don't belt it all out at one time. Whereas the intermediate user has a camera that they can set up again on a tripod. You've got to have a tripod once you're at this intermediate level. That's a must. So I put that on the list if you're thinking about, if you're one of those that's been doing the do-it-yourself cell phone videos and you're thinking about going to that next level. First thing I would get would be a tripod, because sitting there holding the video camera rather, and trying to prop it on things or set it on a bookshelf, and it's not going to work. So you've got to have a tripod. I would definitely go ahead and recommend a lavalier, we call it a lapel mic, so that you can mic yourself up, and then a mid-level camera that's HD. Obviously, we've got to be, I would think 1080p is kind of the standard. There aren't a whole lot of just 720p cameras out there in the last several years, so get you a nice HD camera. It doesn't have to be 4K or anything like that, but just something that when you post it to social media, it's going to look really, really good. So with that said, once you've got your equipment, again, there's no one set of equipment that is right for a realtor or right for someone who does video all the time. Anybody can like any set of equipment better than another set of equipment, but those are the basics. And then of course I would also recommend, depending on where you're ordering from, again, there's B&H Photo, Audio, Video, there's NJ Accessory, there's Amazon, there's eBay. All of those places have plenty of choices. Once we get on up to the professional level of those, Marker Tech, they've got lots of different things for live productions and things like that you'll probably never need. But anyways, the basics are the camera, the tripod, and the microphone. Those are the very, very basics. Now, with that said, you are also going to want some lighting, because it doesn't really matter where you're at. If you're indoors, you're probably going to need some lighting somewhere where there's a nice background. It just generally so happens that most nice backgrounds tend to be darker, so we need some lighting. There's lighting kits on Amazon. I'm going to put together some links to some of these things, and that's what I'll do is I'll send it to Jenny, and then you guys can get it after the event today and go and look at some of it, and feel free to, I'll get you my contact info, and we can always talk about it if you're looking at going this route. So once you get the equipment though, then it's a matter of learning how to use it. And that's a whole different story, and that's what the professionals obviously know how to do. And again, it's all about just doing your research, asking the right questions, and then if need be, I can certainly provide that assistance, or people on my team can provide that assistance. And that's what we're all about, is teaching people how to use video and how video really can make or break you in today's market. So if you're going intermediate, get the equipment. And then it comes down to how to use it, and then the software side of the editing. Now, again, it's just like the hardware side. There are varying levels of software. There's iMovie, there's Windows Movie Maker, there's, oh my gosh, there's so many of those kind of lower level that you can buy at Walmart. I mean, they're out there. And there's nothing wrong with those programs for the basic editing with transitions and some text over the top. Nothing wrong with that for the intermediate level user. And the key to using those and getting familiar with them is literally using them. I've had classes on editing, but the classes didn't teach me how to edit. Editing is learned by being creative. Obviously, that's number one. But then second, once you sit down and you've got footage to work with, you can kind of start putting those pieces together and getting familiar with the program and learning where things are. And of course, you can always, seek help from those who know how to use it, and that's usually one of your best options is to reach out to someone who uses those programs on a regular basis. Now you got the lower level software, and then you step up, and then you get in kind of the professional world, and that's kind of where I'm leading with this is those types of programs. Now, so from intermediate to professional, and this will be my final kind of area to talk about with you guys, because I don't want to bore you to death. Again, I'm sure you're sitting there ready for this to be over with already because you're tired of looking at my face. But anyway, so from intermediate to professional, what is the difference there? Well, in my mind, the difference is you get to focus on you, and you get to do what you do well, and that's talk to people and sell. And that's really who you are. If you're a realtor, I mean, you're out showing houses. You really don't have time to be researching cameras and researching microphones and researching XLR cables and tripods and the different kinds, how to use these things and how to edit videos. Again, if you've got the time, go for it. Absolutely, all day. Get some video content out there because you will notice people start following you and you become someone. I mean, seriously, it's broadcasting. It really is these days with social media. So get some stuff out there. Use your cell phone and get started with it, and just kind of take some analytics and see where your social media presence goes, and see if you get business from it, because it certainly can be done. With that said, the difference between intermediate and professional is often noticeable, even from do-it-yourself to intermediate, which is very noticeable. But that third jump really is where it sets you apart from everyone else. So using a professional firm like Down in Front Productions or others, because not to say that there aren't others out there who do just as good a work as we can do in different fields with different types of videos. But that's where you get into the professional cameras, multiple angles, kind of like this. And you get into just crazy equipment, very nice lighting, blue screens,
I've got one I'm going to show you
interview
in just
setups
a
with
minute.
multiple microphones and mixer boards, and Final Cut Pro for editing, Adobe Premiere. Those are a couple of the professional editing programs. Sony Vegas, there's other ones out there like that. I personally use Final Cut Pro X, the newest version of Final Cut Pro, which again, you've probably noticed I reference Apple products often because I do prefer them when it comes to creative work. Now, Final Cut is the video editing program that I use, but there's also the Adobe side that I do use, which is Photoshop. That comes in handy like you wouldn't believe. So if you really want to get crafty and learn how to be a graphic designer as well, those two things go hand in hand so well. I mean, you can make title screens, you can make lower thirds, you can make replay bumpers for sporting events. I mean, once you get into that, you really probably need to be a video person instead of a realtor. So, but anyways, the difference between intermediate and pro is extreme, but it allows you to do what you're good at, like I said, and have a firm come in, set up as many cameras as are needed, bring the crew that is needed, bring the lighting, bring the cameras, bring the XLR, bring the tripods, bring the mixer boards, bring the microphones. They have all that in place. And all you have to do is generally write the script of either what you're wanting to say or however you want, whatever type of video it is. If it's an intro video for your website, which we're going to look at a couple of those in just a second, that's something we've been doing a lot of for several realtors and other businesses alike. But that is really where having a professional firm come in and do that for your website makes all the difference in the world. And then you get to focus on what you're good at, and that's generally being creative and laying that out and talking and having a conversation with the audience in such a way that communicates who you are and why you're different from everyone else. And if the quality of the video is there, you will be different and you will be better than other realtors out there who are doing it with their cell phone but are doing it very poorly with their cell phone. And it allows you to be on that pedestal, head and heels above everyone else, and doing it the way people communicate in 2016. Again, I cannot stress that enough. The video is extremely important for your business in 2016. There's just no other way to look at it. And I can speak, from a couple different angles here. When someone comes to a sporting event, they generally expect there to be a video board. If there's not one, it's just not as fun. And so that's kind of the way I look at it. And then the same for my business, Down in Front Productions. we use video to promote ourselves, and we do that all the time on social media, on our website, these videos we've made, you know, things like that. And people react, people like it, people share it, people comment on it, and that is going to make such a difference for you in your social sphere and allow you to reach people you didn't know you could reach. So again, that professional level, everything is different. Everything's more expensive, everything is bigger, better, faster, you name it, and it's hard. It's a tough transition from intermediate to professional if you're doing it on your own. I mean, there's a lot of equipment differences. There's a big learning curve in the editing. There's a big learning curve in using audio equipment and using the cameras, and it gets to be a little bit overwhelming if you're brand new, kind of going from having a small little camera and a tripod to now all of a sudden having a $3,000 camera and a crew, and you don't know what's going on. So again, I'm just glad that I'm here to be able to talk to you guys and give you some options. Again, I'm going to put together a list of some equipment that you should look at varying levels of do-it-yourself, or if it's intermediate, or if you're even considering the professional, I would certainly be willing to talk to you about that, and certainly we can provide those services as well, and we'd be more than happy to do that. But before we talk about that part, let me show you a couple of examples that Jenny has had us do for a couple of her clients, so that you kind of get an idea of what a professional video looks like compared to those earlier do-it-yourself videos that we saw. So take a look at these.
I was going to start putting on a zip drive, and I just had y'all that practice.
Laura, I can take them out real quick. We'll do this. You want to start with them? Whatever it is we're going to do. I'm not sure.
I was going to say yes. Are you going to go with that? You want to stand here? Do you want me to go?
Yeah, we'll walk out. Right over here real quick.
Whatever you feel like doing. I don't care. Yeah, because I got two separate.
Okay, awesome.
And then this is for you also.
Okay.
This is 150th self this year, 2015.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I really want that camera that way, in that direction.
That's right. Hey guys, this is Jamie Reynolds from the Josh Vernon Group at Remax Marketplace. We're here at our 150th closing for the year, so we're super excited about this one. Josh and I started the year 150 was our big crazy goal. So we're hitting that about 2 weeks before the end of the year. We've got a handful more closings to do, but we're super excited, ready to start our goals for next year and the plans for that.
We got our 150th sale today. I just want to thank my team, of course. It's definitely been a team effort. Obviously could not have done this by myself. Just really appreciate everything that not only the Josh Vernon Group team has done, but our vendors and attorneys and title companies, and there's a lot of people involved, and just want to thank everybody for that, and I just appreciate everything that you guys have done for us as well. So customers, obviously, too, and lots of referrals have gotten us here. So just want to thank everybody, and I appreciate all of you that have contributed to getting us to 150.
my name is Adam Snable, and I've been in the mortgage business since 2003, and I've helped hundreds of people over these last 13, 14 years. Let's be honest, this is their largest investment. This is most people's largest investment they'll ever have. I am backed by a great company and staff that not only help me to provide my customers with the perfect product, they help me to do so in a timely manner. With in-house underwriting and funding and on-site processing, I can help you avoid the third-party technicalities that can delay your closing. Do we have competitive rates and fees? Do we have a full line of products to choose from? Of course we do. In my experience, lenders without these things don't last very long. In ending, please give me a call, because I would love to sit down and have that personal conversation with you, because it's so very important that we find that perfect loan that's going to fit all of you and your family's needs. Will you choose me to help you purchase or refinance your greatest asset, your home?
So as you can see, the audio, well, as you can hear, rather, the audio was great. There was an even, it wasn't loud, it wasn't quiet, it wasn't echoed, it didn't sound like the person was in a different room, and that is so important. Audio is the key to a good video. I know that sounds crazy, because that just sounds like radio, but audio is key to a good video. So having good audio, absolutely, I'm sure you were able to hear all the words that were said in those videos. It's so important, and that's your message. So again, audio is so important. If you also notice, your framing on every shot, the person's centered or the persons are centered, the lighting is good, the headroom is always there. You know, and depending on the type of shot, you know, if it's one of those shots of a beauty, what we call a beauty shot or B-roll, you know, those you can rack focus and things like that, and that's again where the professionals come in, they understand how that works and where you use those types of shots. But again, lots of different elements in a professional video that you won't really be able to get in the intermediate video without spending a lot of money to get to that next level. And again, for do-it-yourself to professional, it's an even larger gap. But you'll get there. You'll get there. You got to start somewhere, and you'll get there. And that's Jenny's job to help you make more money so that you kind of get into that field of doing professional videos and putting videos on your website. So with that said, now that you've kind of seen some examples of varying levels and what the differences are and how big of a difference there really is, I do want to offer myself and my team down in Front Productions. Zach Jones is my business partner. He's the CFO, if you will. And then we have a team of roughly, my last count was 18, but I want to say 19 now, of operators, camera operators, replay operators, you know, you name it. These guys are good. They've been doing sports for years. They've been helping shoot commercials for years. Some of them edit. So, I mean, we've got a really nice team, and I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of those guys and what they've accomplished and learned over the years hanging around all this video stuff. So we are here as a resource for you. We can certainly make those professional videos. You know, me or Zach would be more than happy to answer any questions as it relates to do-it-yourself models or intermediate, or if you're really thinking about starting your own video firm, we can certainly answer those questions also. And we're just here to make sure that you guys get what you need, because again, if you go to
That's our new internet too. But if you'll go to YouTube and actually search as a test, if you'll go to YouTube and actually search as a test your market, and just put the name of your city in YouTube and just see what pops up, there are a lot of opportunity for you, because let's see, when I went and took a look at Diana's video channel, and I took a look at Vinny's video channel. But just for instance, since we're in Birmingham, if you, I put in Birmingham, Alabama homes. There's nothing that really completely stands out. People are all over the place, so you have an opportunity there to make a difference. And again, like before, when I just did Myrtle Beach, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and Jerry was number 3, things to do in Myrtle Beach. And I told you it's been shown 110,596 times. That was 4 years ago he put that on there. And it's still in the number 3rd position. That is amazing. So what I'm saying is you've got tons of opportunity to be known as an expert, because there's nothing that stands out in, at least in our market. So then what you'll do is, like if I go to things to do in Myrtle Beach on his video, that's going to pop up all the other videos that he's got going on. So he definitely stands out as an expert. And that things to do video is only 3 minutes long. So I
Put it on the screen.
sure, go ahead. I challenge you to do something like this in your market today and start being consistent with it. Cindy just plugged it in, so let's see if it pops up on the screen. That. Okay, this gives you a total idea. Now, you know, Jerry owns YouTube in Myrtle Beach, and he knows that that's where people are, and that's where people find him, and it's free. Now, some of those videos, you just saw Adam's video that I had them go do. That's his welcome video for his website, and it's completely polished, and it looks really good. And it shows kind of his personality and his passion as well. That's what you definitely want to show in your professional stuff. So what I would do, well, I love this comment. Every time I go, I end up being a bit disappointed. That's what somebody wrote on Jerry's video of things to do in Myrtle Beach. But he has a lot of comments here because it's been out there so much. So, I mean, there's not one, if you look up Birmingham, and I'm using that as an example because everybody in the room here. Let's see. Internet is super slow. It's because we're streaming live, and so it makes it a lot slower. But the other thing that you can end up doing for videos is show your struggles. Vinny had one the other day that I think is really interesting, and people want to know problems and how you provide solutions. He had one the other day with, and I know these people well, and you never ever want to make people feel stupid in a video or talk down about people or be really negative. These are people that, I know, and they ended up buying a for sale by owner, and they gave, and I'm going to do a video of this on myself because it's such a good story. They gave the for sale by owner $5,000 in earnest money, directly wrote it out to that seller with no contract in writing, nothing. That seller could have easily taken that money, said, we don't have a deal, and cashed it. And these are very smart people that you wouldn't assume would get themselves in a situation like this. So there is an excellent video for the day. And what Vinny had to end up doing, now Vinny is going in and he's handling the situation. He went and got that earnest money back, provided the solution, got it transferred over to the closing attorney. So now it's in an escrow account where it belongs and can be protected. And now it will go toward the purchaser's purchase instead of it just being out there in some guy's pocket. That is some scary stuff. People think that buying a house is easy and that anybody can do it. And then you hear stories like this. That needs to be a video out there on how he handled it and how he had to step in and what he did. That is an interesting video to do. You in mortgage, you have that happen every single day. At the last minute, Kimberly always talks about, at the last minute she had a lady who opened up a buckled jeans credit card so that she could get a discount. She didn't even put it on the credit card. She just opened it so she could get a discount, and she couldn't close on her VA loan because of buckled jeans. Those are stories that people want to know and hear all the time, so you could easily put together, let me tell you what happened today, right? And do like a quick 1-minute video. Those are fun things. I mean, how many times have I had to do airships, or, have we gotten reports of, guess what, we're set to close and we got a termite inspection that came back today and Formosan termites. Let me give you a little idea of how we solved that solution today. Or for all of you, oh my gosh, now the underwriter is requiring a copy of the home inspection. Those things don't happen every day. So when you have something like that, and this is what they're looking for, and this is why, and then we had to make sure that we got a contractor out and take a look at it. People want to hear about these kind of stories and how you fixed them. That way you are an expert and you're getting it out as much as you possibly can. And people love the stories behind the story. Like, these people have been, they saw 30 houses. Well, like Christy McDonald, she had a lady one time who said she saw spirits when she was showing houses. And so every time she showed a house to the lady would say, well, Christy, there's a ghost right over there. And so I'm not getting a good vibe from this one, so we're going to pass on it. I mean, that is a story that everybody needs to hear in video. because Christy was always creeped out by it. But that's not something you get to experience every day. That needs to be on video. It needs to be out there because we have crazy jobs. And we're dealing with people's credit and we're dealing with their emotions, and this is fun stuff that you can share with everybody. Just like I could do videos on all the houses I've sold that were murder, suicide, rape. I have sold a ton of those. I've teased and said that for a time period I needed to be doing those attorney commercials like I'm your wrongful death realtor. But those are interesting. That would probably get a lot of shares, and because people want to know the stories that happen. So they don't want to know, it's a 3-bedroom, it's a 2-bath. Nobody cares about that. They want to hear the juice around it. They want to hear that these people potentially lost $5,000 because they wrote out a check to the seller. Who does that? So I challenge you to have some fun videos about stories that you experience every day, because you're going to have something today that happens that's going to blow your mind that you can share with people. Then make sure you put it on your YouTube with keywords so that you're earning and building your Google rankings as well. I want to show you this one last one, if it will come up. This is another one that Dustin did. I don't think it's going to work. Our new internet is not very fast, is it? You should have a ton of ideas now for what videos that you can start posting, and be thinking about what a huge audience will like, so that you can be known as the mortgage person in your market. You can be known as the real estate agent in your market, and not even necessarily talk about real estate or mortgages. You do want to share those stories, but go back to that idea of things to do. You can even talk about, what to do on a date night, and the best movie theaters in town. Whatever it is about your market, so that you're known as an expert in your market, in your city, and you're hitting your target, your area. All right, this is not going to play, but if you want to see it, you can go to certifiedhomemarketingexpert.com, and it's a video that he did of me and a class that we have coming up soon. And the difference in, like, when I whip my phone out and use it, as opposed to him actually using professional lighting and editing and the words as he edits as well. Okay, so I want to share with you how to use Google Calendar and how to be very productive with it. For those of us streaming online, I can't even get over here though, to my All right, the first thing you need to do on a Google Calendar is to get a Gmail account. Even if you don't use it, or you've got a professional one that you point to it, then that's completely fine. I'm going to pull this out so I can get, it changes the, there we go. Now I can pull it back open. All right, so now that I've got the calendar pulled up, you can look to see, like today, I meet with Diane at 11. And Sydney and I both have stuff on this one, because this is our professional calendar. So you can actually share it with your team members or your spouse. My husband can go on here anytime and see what I have going on, so that he can schedule things also without having to actually speak to me when needed. You can see what my next week looks like and how they're back to back. These are the days when I really can't look at my phone or answer anything because they're back to back. And I still have to spend that 20 minutes on Sunday night preparing because there are lots of other appointments that aren't on here yet, especially on Tuesday. So you can see my first and third weeks of the month are always crazy busy. But this is exactly what yours needs to look like with prospecting. So let's say on Monday, Sunday you're going to put on your calendar and you're probably going to do it somewhere, let's just say at 8 o'clock, right? And you're going to prepare for a week of total domination. All right, and I'm going to edit it because I don't need a whole hour to do it. I just need 20 minutes. So I'm going to go here. All right, now I will get notifications saying it's time for you to prepare for total domination. And it's on my calendar. I have that time scheduled to fix out my whole week. That's when I send you notifications of your appointments. That's when I start thinking of all the projects I need to make sure that get done. That's when I'll go and add, time to meet with my team. And this is where you want to sit down and say, okay, Monday morning, I'm going to start prospecting at 8 o'clock because I'm going to call 10 of my past clients. And then you would put here, call 10 past clients, ask magic question. Okay? And you can do that in 1 hour's time. Bam. All right? It's going to send you notifications at 7 o'clock saying in 1 hour, you've got to call 10 past clients. That gets your psyche going. And you're going to get that on your phone, right? And you've got that time. That's your money-making time. Nothing comes between you and your moneymaker. But if you don't get it on your calendar, you're probably not going to get it done. Maybe there's a FSBO in a neighborhood you've been wanting to go after. So you're going to probably strategically place it at 5:30 on Monday and say, stop by FSBO. That'll give them time to get home from work. We don't know. You can just drop something off if you need to. You'll have a better chance of seeing them at 5:30. There's a lady in Atlanta. She makes sure that she goes at 7 o'clock as people are backing out, and she'll say, on your way to work, here is a free Starbucks. I just wanted to introduce myself. I knew I'd probably be able to catch you on your way to work. And she does that for expireds and for sale by owners. I think that's genius. It takes a whole lot of guts to do that, though, and you're going to get some people who are going to tell you where to go. However, you get a chance to gift somebody and you get a chance to meet a prospect that has already raised their hand. That's where you would put on your calendar up here, 7 a.m., you're going to do that, and maybe you do it 1 day a week. But it'd be a great way to actually meet some people, okay? Maybe then at 10 o'clock, you're going to, send 10 expired postcards. And then at 12 noon, you're going to take treats by some different offices to prospect. But you've got a plan, and you lay it all out. You can change it up if you need to, but if you don't have your prospecting ideas on there starting Sunday night for the week, then you're probably not going to reach enough people, because you're going to have to stop and scramble and think of who you're going to have to call. Oh my gosh, where am I going to get business today? Too much thinking involved. Let your calendar do it for you, and let me show you over here. This is where you can share calendars. You see my calendars, and then you click on that button. You can create a new one if I wanted to, or I can go to settings, and I can add people on if I want. And I can even say, hey, let's not do all of these notifications. Okay, crap, gotta pull it back off. You can also send reminders out to people of your appointments so that they can accept or reject. And let's see, like with Diana, okay, I can click here, can click edit event, and I can enter her email in here and send her a reminder Save. Would you like to send invitation to guests? Yes. Okay. So now she just got an email too that she's about to meet with me in a few minutes. So she can send back, oh my gosh, was that today? I'm so sorry, I'm not going to be able to meet, or whatever the reason is. People have they can accept or reject. Now they have to have a Gmail account to be able to click accept, but most people do in today's world. So. All right, I've got some extra tips on that as well for you on the bottom of your worksheet, and I'll email that out to you. Y'all started watching this early today. We had 3 people streaming at 9 o'clock, so I know you were like waiting for videos to start today. Hope that you learned a lot, and send me your videos. I would love to see them, and I will help you share them and help you get the word out. I want you owning whatever it is you want to own in your market. Hope that you have an amazing day, and thanks for watching today.